that it is infrastructure, and it will only be spent on infrastructure, and it will be spent on a priority basis of infrastructure. So folks, we have no choice but to go. The 5% is a reality check. No question about it. We can drop it to 1, but then we're fooling ourselves if we do. At this point, it's 5%, and let's stick to the 5%. And then if something happens before we adopt the budget in January, we can adjust accordingly, right? We can decide then. But at the present time, it's got to be 5%. That's what the staff has told us we need, and to play around with that at this point is just playing games. So let's go with it's agree in principle. Would you please read the motion carefully? Agree in principle. And if anything happens, if the provincial government comes forward with something, then we can look at the 5%. If the federal government comes forward with something, we can look at the 5%. And then we can decide in January whether we want to go with the 5% at all. It is not a final decision of this council. But we've got to get the program going, and we've got to get the message across to the citizen. I'm pleased, Councillor Mahoney, with the reaction. Isn't that wonderful, you know? And, but let's go. Okay, I have a, are you? Yeah, Councillor Mullin.
I'm not playing around with the 5%. My issue is that it's based on assessed value. If we're talking about a levy, it should be a levy for every single home, because infrastructure benefits all of us. Once you tie it to assessment, then you've got problems in terms of the assessment changing year to year and the impacts on various parts of the city. Therein lies my issue. I'm not fooling around with the 5%. I'm basing a point based on the issue of assessment. It's always back to assessment, and the assessment varies, and that will be an impact. So I'm not fooling around with the 5%. I have an issue with why we can't simply put down a one-time amount that we deal with on a yearly basis that is for everybody, because infrastructure helps everybody, not just a particular community.
It's true, Councillor Mullin, it's very true. And quite honestly, if I'm living in a house that's worth $900,000, which I am doing, I'm prepared to pay the 5%, because I don't want somebody living in a townhouse paying what I should be paying. I have to tell you, it's regressive in my opinion. So, okay, you've heard. Do you agree with the amendment I made or suggested? Yeah, that we repeat the surplus, the major surplus. And I have a motion by Councillor Unica, and by the way, Councillor Unica spoke out very strongly on this, and the example you used. Moved by Councillor Unica, second by by Councillor Carlson. And do I need to read the motion? Taken as read? Pardon? Yeah. All in favor of a short reading of the motion. All in favor of the motion. Any opposed? Carried.